I commend your stamina for recounting that interminable tale. You must be exhausted. My ears certainly are. So, to sum it up, the last time you laid eyes on Herta was in her office. She sent you on a wild goose chase for some trinket, the curio, after which you knew nothing else until Lady Asta contacted you. If that's the narrative you're sticking to, then indulge me. Who, pray tell, can substantiate this captivating drama? A second-hand account. She wasn't at the scene. Hearsay hardly counts as compelling evidence, now does it?
Affirmation. We can ask Herta herself.
Well, if you lace up those boots and start sprinting now, you might just catch the IPC shuttle in 4 system hours. But as it stands, not a single soul can corroborate his story.
Mr. Ratio, your style of questioning would seem to have a preconceived bias.
Apologies, it's an unfortunate habit of mine. When one is immersed in academic research, skepticism comes far more naturally than belief. It is also the most efficient method, judging from my experience. Seeking answers with a negative hypothesis in mind is still valid research. It can still help us reach the truth. If he is truly innocent, he can clear his name with answers. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment.
I remember now. Back then.
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment. And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name.
Herta didn't mention the name of the curio. We were talking about something else, and she just mentioned it in passing. However, she did give a thorough description of the curio. I didn't make that up.
True. You wouldn't be able to make that up.
Why do I feel like I'm being looked down on?
And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name. Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio? It's hard for me to imagine she would treasure one curio so much.
I doubt Herta is interested in the curio itself.
Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment. And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name. Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio? It's hard for me to imagine she would treasure one curio so much.
Sure, but you're the one saying the curio in question is ordinary.
Say what you want to say.
A correct observation, if I may add.
Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio?
The curio isn't the point. Herta was only addressing it because of its relation to the Genius Society.
I would imagine the curio is the creation of a genius. Affirmation. It holds some special meaning to Herta.
Yes. That seems logically sound. Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio. However, she decided to hold her tongue until now? So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets like they're going out of style?
The space station has been very distrustful of its higher management, ever since the Antimatter Legion's invasion. Another severe incident would further intensify suspicion, and cause great internal strife.
Oh. So that explains why Lady Asta approved of my participation. After all, the Intelligentsia Guild's representative wouldn't be linked to the space station, but would still share the IPC's position. They wouldn't be partial to anyone, but would still act for the space station's benefit. Two birds with one stone. Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked. Cut the act. You're perfectly aware of the point I'm making.
I remember now.
That's enough. Cut the act.
Correction, there may be a correlation.
Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department.
I remember now.
That's enough. Researchers' disappearances. Clearly, though.
No connection? I disagree.
Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
I remember now.
That's enough. Clearly, though. Cut the act.
Correction.
Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department. Clearly, though, it bears no
No connection?
Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
No. If I recall correctly, Asta said, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. Don't know the location. Isn't that the same as missing?
She did say that, but then what? You need to provide evidence to show incidents are linked.
There should be evidence. Arlen discovered something odd when he was investigating the disappearances. The space station's automatic fire suppression system was momentarily activated around the time the disappearances happened. Arlen mentioned that each victim disappeared due to spontaneous combustion.
Huh. But there are no signs of a fire anywhere in the space station.
That's what's so odd about it. But this information has an additional layer of importance. This may not be direct evidence, but if the system also recorded the fire suppression system activating when the puppet was attacked, then there's ample evidence to indicate that these two cases are linked.
If these two incidents were caused by the same person, then the suspicion put on you would decrease, provided that this fire suppression record does exist in the system.
We'll see in the main control room. Let's go. Huh? What was that?
Harrider Newsflash. This is an urgent broadcast. I repeat, this is an urgent broadcast. News has finally emerged regarding the attack on Madame Herta. The Annihilation Gang has claimed responsibility for the incident and warned of further activity. The Guild has expressed utmost condemnation.
The gods of the starry skies have abandoned the world. They give no thought to the masses. Only the wounded savior can bathe the world in the firelight of destruction. Yet always there are cowards trying in vain to reject their favor and escape the wounds. Flee then. Flee as far as you can. No matter the distance, annihilation will find you.
This is...
A declaration of war, and an announcement of what's to come. They have set their sights on you. The Legion's impact remains, and the Annihilation Gang is already paying a visit. It almost seems like this space station is more suited for the path of destruction than erudition.
This Duke Inferno Ifrit is a life form that hails from Fatora, a world long since destroyed. His race, the ever-burning fire demons, regard Nanook as their emperor and savior, but the Eon has never cast their gaze upon them.
A group of pitiful lunatics. I like Dr. Primitive's assessment of them. The value Nanook sees in the Annihilation Gang is perhaps far less than one might see in a child who deliberately broke a vase. The fire demons have a cruel temper and instinctively ignite and destroy items. Ifrit is particularly evil and cruel, even among his kin. The Everflame mansion he heads is even the archenemy of the Japella Brotherhood, despite both groups belonging to the Annihilation Gang.
Japella Brotherhood? I've heard that name somewhere.
On the Stellaron Hunters wanted posters, they stand accused of inciting the Japella Rebellion, the uprising that caused the downfall of the Brotherhood.
The Japella Palace crumbled in the scorching flames, and Ifrit's power has grown by the day ever since. Would you believe it would be merely a coincidence? Something similar is about to happen here. Spontaneous combustion? For him, it's as routine as me finding fault in everything. The disappearance of researchers and the puppet were all part of the plan. And after that video will soon circulate. And this station's fate? Flames. Nothing but flames.
The destruction of trust.
I'm afraid more than trust will be destroyed here. You need to start acting now if you want to survive. You, come with me. You have a superior strategy? Pray tell, do we set the two of them loose, turning whispered fears into full-blown pandemonium?
If we did that, we'd be at a disadvantage. I'll stay here and try to contain the news as best I can. Please, investigate the issue quickly.